Oh, welcome back to the channel, everyone. We're watching a
Never
new
experience what it's like to have
loser
a woman
maxing
truly
video.
be attracted to you. To have a woman so obsessed with you, she willingly caters to your every whim and desire. She does everything she can to please you, bends over backwards to try to make sure you're always satisfied, and it doesn't even matter how you treat her. She's just obsessed no matter.
I thought, the whole thing in a relationship is that it's supposed to be on equal footing, basically, where, like the man and the woman are treat each other equally due to respect.
Matter what. Most men, even guys that seem to do pretty well with the ladies, they don't really know what it's like. There's a whole nother world of female attention, female affection that most guys will never even know exists. Even though it's not really a secret, I think most men just don't want to admit it. And it's actually just one little thing that makes all the difference between a man that gets the Chad treatment and
Oh, yeah, I'm basically have been described as Chad-like because, usually, being Chad-like is not is not really caring about useless bullshit. And, like, I'm not getting wrapped up in stuff. Hell, you know what? Somebody like Danny DeVito, like fucking. I'll give you an example of a Chad like. Because you know what? Chad is not the looks, basically. Chad is an attitude. Frank Reynolds from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. That dude's a Chad to inspire to be. And he does some fucking fucked up shit, but yeah. See, Frank Reynolds is the ultimate Chad. And you know what? Some of his fucking really evil shit is like stuff I would actually do too. Because it's just fucking hilarious on another level.
a man that just does all right with women. Let me illustrate with a story. There was this guy from my hometown. He was always the star athlete, 6'3", model looks. I didn't know him extremely well. We never went to the same school, but my mom babysat him and his brother a couple times when we were kids, and we were on the same little league team one year. But I would have ended up hearing about him regardless because this guy ended up being the most popular guy in my high school, and he didn't even go to my high school.
See, I think this is just a speculative, made up bullshit story where, like, oh, this dude's more powerful, more popular. He's the most popular guy in my high school. I know that's bullshit. Like, yeah, there's your popular guys that. I grew up in the 90s, okay? I'm Gen X. There's your popular kids in high school, yeah, so what? Most of the jocks are secretly gay too. They probably fuck each other in the asses. What? I said it.
And that's not an exaggeration. Girls at my high school, which wasn't even in the same town as this guy, would always be talking about him. And guys at my school would brag about hanging out with him or just being at the same party he was at. He was basically a celebrity just based on one thing. And it wasn't because he was good at sports. Maybe that contributed because he was a good athlete.
No, no, you could, you know what, you could fucking, like, take, like, the most dysgenic, like, person, and say if they have, like, a good trait, say if they have a fucking hell of an arm and just can fucking launch a football, or, like, if they're a good fucking runner, and they have really good coordination and can run the ball. They would be like basically the star athlete and the most popular person in school, regardless of their looks. It's based off their athletic achievements, dickhead. Maybe this guy is kind of a Christ cook.
but he never went pro or anything. I think he did end up playing baseball in college, but not even Division 1. But this guy was damn near famous in our area. We'll come back to him in a minute, but to tell this story, there's another character you need to know about. So,
Well, you know what? Being famous is for fucking pussies. I'd rather be infamous. Much more fun.
there was this girl I went to school with from kindergarten all the way through 7th grade. We went to a small private Christian school. I ended up moving and going to a public school in a different town nearby, starting in 8th grade. And she also started going to public school eventually. She went to the same school as Chad, who I was just telling you about. So there was a lot of similarities between this girl, who I'll call Stacy, and Chad from earlier. But Stacy became a local celebrity.
Oh my god, this guy is a fucking turning into like Elliot Rogers. Maybe he'll fucking shoot up his local supermarket, being jealous of Stacy and Chad, or inspire somebody to fucking basically go out on a fucking shooting spree. Because you know why? This guy, although he's a sad fucking little man. Because okay, I'm gonna give you, like I like reading guard novels from Warhammer 40,000. I identify with those dudes. They have some of the best quotes, like pain is temporary, honor is forever. Like only death and duty's end. And one of my favorite ones is suffer the unclean, not to live like this fuck.
Celebrity at a much younger age. I remember being in the 6th grade, and guys at our school in the 11th and 12th grade would just openly be obsessing over her. They'd be complimenting her, begging her to go on dates with them. It was pretty messed up looking back. I mean, even at the time, I thought it was messed up.
I think this dude was fucking rejected in middle school, and I think this stems from what? Like why he sits on making videos like this, fucking crying, playing a decent shooter that I happen to own, bolt gun, which kind of pisses me off. They need to, but the only thing they need is a map because I'm fucking lost on the second level.
But obviously, I also had a crush on her. We were the same age, though. But as I'm sure you can imagine, she was very attractive. I remember one time we went on a field trip to an amusement park like 4 hours away. I think this was in the 6th grade, had to be either 6th or 7th. But it was just insane seeing how she got treated. Pretty much every single man, including grown men that were there with their wife and children.
Heavy? Oh, what? Well, that that's that's kind of weird and creepy. Yeah, but I think this is an embellishment of his story, being like, "Oh, I'm so fucking sad."
Every single man we walked past would just be staring at her. They had us separated into groups of 5 or 6 with one of the parents as our chaperone, and me and her were in the same group. And so many guys were hitting on this girl that eventually our chaperone, which was another girl in my class's mom, she made us all get in a circle around Stacy so she would be less visible. And that was only after she had tried just walking beside her and aggressively yelling out, "She's 12!" at any man that said anything to her. She did look older than her age, I guess, but still, it was ridiculous. Okay, so fast forward to high school when we're all 16 or 17. Remember, I was no longer in touch with Chad or Stacy by this point in time. They both went to a different school. I hadn't seen either of them in
Well, boo fucking who and cry harder.
years, but I was still somewhat clued in on their lives because they were both local celebrities, essentially, just because they were attractive. Chad was a prospect in a couple different sports, I think, so he was also known for that, but yeah. There was another girl that was best friends with Stacy. She also went to the same private school with me and Stacy as kids, but then for high school, she actually went to the same school I did. Okay, so just to make sure everything's clear, Stacy and Chad both went to one high school, and me and Stacy's best friend went to a different school in the next town over.
Yeah, so what? What you
Okay, so
elaborating on?
here's what happened that really opened my eyes to just how different life is for some guys. So apparently there was a party, or maybe just a lot of people hanging out. I don't think it was like a Project X style rager, anyways. But Chad and Stacy and Stacy's friend were all there. So the story, as I heard it, is that there was like maybe 10 to 20 people in a room, and Chad was sitting on a couch with Stacy's best friend sitting on his lap, and she was wearing a skirt, and they were under a blanket together. Now, I'm sure you probably think you see where this is going, but unfortunately, it's actually worse than that. So I'm not going to go into detail. I don't even know all the details, but what I heard is that Chad tried to get it in with Stacy's friend. She said no, and he did it anyways. Right there in the room with all these people around.
Well, this is a thing. Okay, I'm Chad. Like, I would not. No. Rape is never an option. And I think, like Mr. Fatty, like, ball loser fucking incel man, clinical psychologist that worked with Israel and the FBI, Mr. Schreiber here is basically, like crying, talking off his fucking ass.
But it was like they were under a blanket. I think he probably thought he was being stealthy. And this is hearsay, by the way. I can't tell you with 100% certainty that this actually happened the way
So basically, like this is all speculation, hearsay. That means the bitch is fucking lying.
I heard it. But there was several witnesses to this. And if you're wondering how I know about it, it's because people in my class were talking about it, and I sat there and listened while some guy told his friend the whole story. But everybody was talking about it for a few days after it happened. Like everybody at my school was talking about it. And I guess this story breached containment and made it to the church lady gossip pipeline because after I heard about it at school, my mom told me about it. Keep in mind, my mom used to babysit Chad. She knew his parents, and she knew Stacy's friend and her parents as well, so she took a special interest in the story. And I did also know a few of the supposed witnesses of this event. There was one guy from my school and his girlfriend at the time who also went to my school.
Wow, yeah, like this is the thing. Okay, one thing. First things first. The guy he's talking about probably just peaked at high school.
And they actually
Okay, and like after high school, and might have peaked in college, and now it's just downhill, like this goofy fuck. Where he never peaked, he probably was just a normal kid. And the thing about him, okay, and him, like I think, okay, I think all of his shit he says you should not listen to or anything. Step one. This dude's a fucking lying. He probably is going to um basically fucking inspire somebody to go on a school shooting. without, like he has, like this fucker thinks, oh yeah, like there's like he addresses fucking problems, right? Like he's Mr. Hot Conservative Talking Points, but he has no fucking actual proof to back it up. Like I covered his last video on why there's such low birth rates. Okay, well, the founding stock of this country feels like a stranger in their own land being denigrated by everybody else being told to shut the fuck up. AKA white men. By every other race. And then there's like these fucking like foreigners that come over that we let in just to let them live by us. Which, no, fuck them. They're screaming death to America. And the whole thing is, okay, say, and then these news migrants and Indians, they think India is better than America. If India is so great, why not the fuck go back?
Both became vocal opponents of Chad after that because of what happened. And that's why I tend to believe the story is true, because this guy that was friends with Chad stopped being friends with him over it. And also, this guy was evangelizing the tale all over our school. He was telling anybody that would listen, which was everybody, because it was the biggest piece of gossip the school had ever seen, apparently. And Stacy's friend was out of school for
okay. The thing with gossip is a feminine nature. You're supposed to fucking flush that shit out of your system. Now, if somebody does something and puts it public, that's just the most fucking retarded shit you've ever fucking seen. Make fucking fun of them. There, I said it. Even if you know them. Even if they're fucking from high school. Make fucking fun of them. Man or woman, that you know. They do something really fucking stupid rather than engage in gossip, and they videotape it, put it up on the fucking internet, make fucking fun of them. Yes, I think we should bring back bullying on the internet. Because like without all this fucking without fucking bullying, it made people fucking weak. Bully the fucking weak.
Entire week after that, presumably because of what happened and how public it was. She just didn't want to be there knowing everybody would be talking about it, I guess, which is understandable. But here's the crazy part. I heard several girls at my school talking about how they wish it was them. And I heard girls talking trash about Stacy's friend because they were jealous.
Yeah, bitches be fucking. Ugh. Like bitches with other bitches. You know what, women? I mean, your friend, ladies out there, your women hate you. If you're prettier, if you're nicer, sir, than them, because all of you ladies, you all judge each other. That's basically what my take is. See? Because, hey, ladies, I'll whisper it in. I'll get really close and tell you. Your friends secretly hate you. There. I said it.
Calling her a liar in all this. There was also a fairly large contingent of vocal supporters of Chad throughout all this, which was primarily made up of girls. And then this is the part that really just...
Oh, God. See, no. It's not how, no, this is not how high school works. One, back in my day, if a dude got accused of raping a chick, first things first, the whole school shits on them. No matter, like how good looking, how athletic, how smart they are, they get fucking shit on. I'm not saying, like my school ever experienced anything like that. Nah, we had a couple of fucking, like bitches that just fucking killed themselves because they couldn't fucking handle shit. That's it.
It boggles the mind if you have not already taken the dark colored capsule. But get this, the next school year after this happened.
You mean the incel pill? You mean the gay? I be sit here whining pontificate about all the ills, and I can't, and I can't get laid. I'm a little fucking baby. One, you've gotta. And I've mentioned the way this guy looks. He looks like a fucking psychopath.
Chad and Stacy started dating. And Stacy's friend was still best friends with Stacy. They had pictures together with all three of them on Facebook. But before that happened, okay, and I promise I'm not making this up. I already know some of y'all are going to call bull.
This is grand bullshit. He's making bullshit up. See, like he's taking two people that he just made up, and he's playing out this rape that like Chad and like this person and this person said, hey, like hooked up. I wonder if he's sitting at his fucking table just fucking like playing with dolls, like in Spaceballs with Darth Helmet with a fucking Princess Vespa dolls with them hooking up, going, oh, I love you, and bashing up together like they're kissing and shit.
Bullshit. But remember the guy from my school that was friends with Chad, but then after this happened, he became an enemy of Chad? Okay, like I said, that guy and his girlfriend both were there and witnessed the event in person, and they both turned against Chad because of it. Okay, not even just a few months after that, after this whole thing happened, Chad ended up briefly dating that girl. And supposedly, he knocked her up too.
Okay, now he's leading into like another story is like, oh, the teenage pregnancy story. Like yeah, this like I can see through this fucking thing. It's bullshit. Jesus Christ.
But I guess they terminated it. And I can't say for sure that that's even true, but it was a well known piece of gossip at my school, and it was a fact that they dated. That part definitely did happen. Okay, so this guy apparently did the very, very bad thing to this girl pretty much right in front of about a dozen witnesses. Then after that, he ends up dating the best friend of the girl that he wronged. And the victim herself seemed to be okay with it. And he
See, and that's the thing. It's just gossip, lies, and bullshit that he's like shaped the story around this bullshit he's spewing.
He also boinked another girl that was there that witnessed the event that originally had been telling everyone she knew about how awful it was. There was also a rumor going around that Chad hooked up with a hot teacher at his school. I have no idea if that's true. It probably.
Well, you know what? Like he's, like I think, like the feds, I think feds write this asshole script for him, and like I think this whole guy's thing is a fucking gigantic psyop, because it is. He's a fat fucking psyop. Besides, and you know what? We're paying for this asshole to live. what if what what if people just stopped basically fucking watching his bullshit, buying a shitty book. Maybe I should be like do a fake Rip Hill grift or sell a book for like $5 that's 12 pages with full of I like boobies. It might outsell with it. People would just probably just buy it as a fucking joke. The author name would be like Dr. Bernard Zayas, something crazy like that. And the book would be like how to be a man and get ahead of life with this 12 pages of I like fucking boobies. Maybe just written repeatedly, no punctuation, hundreds of times, is fucking typed on a fucking page. I like boobies, I like boobies, I like. That'd be fucking. You know what? Maybe I should fucking do that.
Is, but I mean, I just don't know. And I mean, after all this, Chad was still a local celebrity. There was like 2 weeks of people talking about this and making a big deal out of it. But then it was just like everybody forgot about it. Because up until the time I graduated, I would still hear people talking about him all the time, usually in a positive way, especially girls. Girls would be talking about him like they're talking about freaking Zac Efron or something.
Well, it's teenage girls, and now say if there's a really good looking guy around, yeah, even the fat ones are trying to get with him. See? And my stance on fat chicks is no, they smell. They give good blowjobs, but no, just no, they smell. Uh-uh. And okay, and I have a fucking solution to this. Okay, why bitch incels want a state mandated girlfriend? How about hook them up with the most disgusting, degenerate women on earth, the femcells, which, Jesus Christ, they're fucking rooms. It looks like a fucking landfill combined with a sewer. Basically, they do this thing called rat maxing.
He was just a regular guy, essentially, but he had literal fans all over our local area. These girls were fans of him. But I do remember the one guy from my school that witnessed the event in person. He continued to be anti Chad, presumably even to this day. I remember one time, probably almost 2 years after the event went down,
he knows one person that's anti, like the guy of the story, which is probably made up too. Because this guy, he cries about not having friends. I don't think he had any friends in high school, and I don't think his mom hugged him at all growing up.
Some girls were talking about Chad in class, and this guy overheard, and he just goes, "Y'all know he blanked Rachel, right?" And instead of, blanked, he said the R word, the word that rhymes with grape. And then the girl.
Yeah, it's a made up rape story, probably, that this sick fuck conjured up in his head.
They just shut up after that. But yeah, it's crazy. But that's not even the end of the story. So Chad started dating Stacy, right? Well, at some point, I guess he leaked what was supposed to be private pictures of Stacy. That kind of pictures.
What? Well, that's kind of fucked up. Because you know why? Say if he leaks some distributed to a porn site, how does that law work out if he's a minor and she's a minor? Does he face any consequences or anything? I don't know that side of the law because I never do the revenge porn thing.
I don't know how many people he sent the pictures to, but once they got out, it was like literally every guy in my school was talking about it. I think every single guy in my school saw the pictures, including me. And I didn't
So they had a disturbing, like, teary-eyed jerk-off fest.
even have any friends. And remember, Stacy didn't even go to my school, but she was so hot and so well known in our local area. Her pictures were like the biggest news story of the whole semester when they leaked. And the other thing, too, these pictures were like, she didn't send them to Chad. They weren't selfies, okay? They looked like she didn't even know the pictures were being taken. So I'm guessing Chad took these pictures without her knowledge and then probably just sent them to a few friends. I'm sure he didn't mean for everybody to see them, but the pictures got out there and they spread like wildfire. And obviously, as I'm sure you can imagine, she broke up with him. Psych! They kept dating after that for like another year.
Well, maybe his dick was just too good to let go. For, you know? And why should you fucking care? Why don't you just focus on you? Huh? Why care about fucking strangers and shit that you don't even know?
And I'm pretty sure they only broke up because they went to different colleges. Okay, so let's recap. This guy did the very, very bad thing to Stacy's best friend right in front of several witnesses, including Stacy herself. He also took secret photos of Stacy without her knowing about it, and he shared those photos, which eventually spread so far and wide, even I saw them. And the consequences Chad faced for these actions was literally nothing at all.
Actually, no. I say if you do some stupid shit, there's always fucking consequences. It seems like he grew up in basically like a town probably called fucking Retardville. Because yeah, I grew up in a small town, and usually like in small towns, people don't play like that. I know. I grew up in the fucking sticks. Fucking I. See, like remember, but man, don't listen to guys like this. Like, and like me, like God, like just listening to this, I, I'm gonna say it's 100% fucking bullshit. That like he wants, like him to you to fucking feel sorry for made up people that don't even fucking exist. See, and and don't feel sorry for him because it's just a made up story. See, it's kind of like those like really really fucking gay storytime YouTubers back in the day. Where people just fucking flooded shit. Like this guy, like I remember this one kid, and he was talking about stealing weed and stuff. And he looked like a fucking dork. That if he tried stealing from me, he like I just fucking throw him out a window. So enough said, okay? And remember, everybody, stay strong in mind, be healthy, as in like eat healthy food, and bully the weak minded. And until next time, have a good one.